Hi everyone! Today I thought I would show you how I made this beautiful trifold shutter card. Now this stands quite nicely on its own. Beautiful shape, but it's very easy to make. So if you want to see how I made this card, keep watching. This will fit into a 5x7 envelope, quite easy to post, and it doesn't weigh much. So let's get crafting. So I've got myself some pearls. These are the Chloe's pearls. I've got some tinsel red embossing powder from Paper Mania. I'm going to be using my Versamark ink pad, and I'm going to cherry pick little bits from each of these two sentiments. One is the Essential Verses and the other one is the Big Christmas Verse, and they're both by Sentimentally Yours, and I'll show you how I do that. I've already cut all my pieces because I didn't think you'd want to see me chopping away on my paper trimmer. So the first thing you're going to need is a piece of cardstock which measures 12 inches in width by 7 inches in depth. I'm taking in my scoreboard. If I pop all that out of the way, and with the short side butted right up to the edge, and we're going to score this down at 2 inches, 4 inches, 8 inches, and 10 inches. And then we're going to rotate this so that we've got the long side butted up against the scoring board, and I'm going to score this down at 2 inches. Then I'm going to rotate this and score down again at 2 inches. So now what we've ended up with is this 12x7 piece of cardstock with all these grids. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pop my piece of card down long ways facing me, and I'm going to take in my ruler and a craft knife, and what we're going to do is we're going to cut from the first score line to the last score line on both sides. Now you can either do this with your paper trimmer or you can do it with a ruler. I find it easier to do with the ruler. So taking in my craft knife, get that nicely lined up. First score line along to the last score line. We've made this cut. I'm going to rotate that, and I'm going to do exactly the same on the other side. So from the first score line up to the last score line. So now we've ended up with this shape. Okay, so this is where we are at the moment. We've made our cuts, and this is the trickiest part. If you take your first score line and make that fold towards the center and give that a really nice burnish down, this second middle score line we're going to turn into a mountain fold, and that should naturally want to make these two a valley. So if we bring that towards you as a mountain fold, and if it does naturally do it, we've now got the valley fold. If not, just put that over and give that a nice score. So 2 valleys, a mountain, but this time instead of bringing it this way, we're going to take this across this way. And then what we've ended up with is this really nice shape. I will cut this again at the end, and we'll go through it again at the end just to make sure you get the folding and burnishing correct. But for now, we're going to decorate this one. So you are going to need quite a few bits of pattern paper, Christmas patterned paper, again by Sentimentally Yours. You're going to need 8 squares, which measure 1 3/4 by 1 3/4, and these are all going to go in the 2 by 2 squares. So once we start putting this together, it really does start coming to life. So these are going to sit just so. So you want 8 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. Then you're going to need 4 at 1 3/4 by 2 3/4, and these are going to sit in these spaces here. So that's the 4. You're going to need 2 more at 1 3/4 by 3 3/4, and these 2 are going to sit along here. Now if you're using directional paper, these 2 especially, and these are the ones where you need to make sure you've got it the right way around. And then the very last one piece, I've cut this at 3 3/4 by 2 3/4, and this is the one that's going to sit in the middle. So what I need to do now is get all those stuck down. So just start with any one and a nice little bit of glue on the back and in the middle, and leave the same amount of border all the way around. And if I do this bottom row, making sure that everything lines up nicely. I think the cutting of all your embellishments and scoring and burnishing is what takes the longest part of this card. This is the fun bit. So we just get all those nicely lined up. And there we go. So that's our first row down. So I'm going to go on and stick all these down, and I will be right back. So that's all those mats stuck down. Turn that over and give that a really nice press down. And now this naturally wants to do its own thing. Just tweak it a little bit, and there we've got our shaped card. And this is quite easy. You just push this together, and that's how you would send it in an envelope. As I said, this fits into a 5 by 7 envelope quite nicely. And now it's all about your embellishments. Okay, so I've got all my embellishments. I've layered up my poinsettias, so I've got a layer of 2 on each one. And all I'm going to do with these is glue them where I want them. You can put these on with glue gel if you want to. It's entirely up to you. So I'm going to have one just there. Now remember, whatever embellishments you put on any of these squares need to fit within the score lines. And I'm going to pop this next biggest one up there. So the next size down, I'm going to pop one in this corner. Now I do want to leave some without, so I've got 1, 2, 3. I think I'll pop a small one down, a smaller one down in this panel. So I'm going to keep this one free, this one and this one. So now I want to add some embellishments. Now this is a really pretty leaf. You just pop your glue down the stem. Get that one in place. And then I think we'll have some, we can either have just the berries, or we could have the one with the leaf and the berries. And I think for this card I'm going to have just the berries. And it's going to be slightly different, so we're just going to pop that in just there. So that's that corner done. Now with the bottom one again, so for the bottom one we could have this leaf shape and maybe some more berries. I'm just trying to mix them up a little bit rather than having all the same. So if we pop that one just there. And the beauty of all the Sentimentally Yours foliage is you get left and right, so it can go both ways. So that's that little corner done. So with this one, I think we'll have one of these big, and let's just make sure I can get that in that spot. Yeah, oops. So just pop some glue down on that one. Just lift up that petal and give that one a nice press down. And then we want something to come this way, so we could actually pop the smaller one on there. So this is roughly like so. And checking all the time that things are going to fold in quite nicely. So this space, and this space I want for my sentiments. So I'm going to pop another poinsettia just there, which is a smaller one than the one on the other opposite side. And then I've got the holly, which I put down the side like so, and I've got 2 lots. So if I just go all the way down, I'm going to pop that up a bit higher actually. Get that one down. And then, as you can see, this one goes the opposite way. So actually that now fits perfectly on there. Get a nice amount of glue, just enough to hold it there really. And think I'll have that like so. So if we look at our design now, this is what we've got. I do want to put one of the, is this acorns? I think they're called acorns. I think I'm going to have that one just there. And then we've got two tiny ones. So we could have these actually go in the opposite direction. So if I have one there, and the other one can come just over the top of it there. So what I'm going to do with this one is I am going to chop this one down and pop a tiny bit of glue on the back of there, and then this one's going to go sit just there like so. I'm going to take the smaller one, chop that off there, and we're just going to bring that one in just there. Give that a nice press down. And then this last one, I just want to put, I'm not going to do that one until I've done my sentiment, but I think that's the one I want to use. So if I put that one and then that one, and then I can decide afterwards which ones I want to use. So as you can see, we're really getting there. It starts to come together really quite quickly. Now what I want to do now is all these tiny berries, I want to have a tiny bit of red glitter. So we're just gonna pop a tiny bit of glue on each berry. It doesn't have to be lots, just a tiny bit so that we can get some glitter on there. Now if you've got a quickie glue pen, they're really good for dabbing some glue. There's that one. Now this isn't berries, but this is. So there's those there. And then we've got these just here. If I take in my photocopy paper, tinsel red, and I'm just gonna pour this over. That's that bit. And if we do this bit, now this is embossing powder, embossing glitter powder, but it's still okay to use just as a glitter. And we'll get that straight back in the jar. So that's where we are at the moment. Poinsettias, I'd like to put a red pearl. So if I get this done next, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's just 5 there at the moment. And I'm going to take in the smallest ones. Just pop a red pearl in the middle of each one. So that's another job done. I'm going to take in some scrap pieces of white cardstock, and the sentiments that I used for the first card were Just For You from the Essential Verses birthday. And then I used Wishing Christmas Love and Festive Cheer for the middle sentiment. And then I masked off and just used Happy New Year at the bottom. If we do the Just For You first. I'm going to line the word celebrate at the bottom. Line that up on my glass mat. Pick that one up. And all I want is Just For You in the middle. I'm going to take in some low tack tape and I'm going to just tape off what I don't want. Just there. And the same at the top. That's that one. Now I'm going to take my anti-static bag and just give my cardstock a little clean off. And with the Versamark, I'm going to get some ink on that stamp. Now you must remember to remove your tapes. And then if we get this, Just For You, like so. Just For You. So if I take in my copy paper again, and this time I'm using the gold, metallic rich gold by Wow. And we'll just get that all over our sentiment. So that's that one done. And then if you put your heat gun on number 2, just let that warm up for a couple of seconds. And I'm going to heat this from behind because I want this to be a softer look. So there we go. You see that going. And that almost looks raised off of the page. So that's our first sentiment. We'll cut them all together at the end. Just give this one a little clean up. That one straight back where it belongs. And then with the Wishing Christmas Love and Festive Cheer, we're going to do exactly the same again. Now this one is slightly easier to mask off. And pick that one up. So we want Wishing Christmas Love and Festive Cheer. So we're going to mask off from there. The saved masking tape that I used before, so we might as well use that. So it's this top part that I want to stamp up. We get some nice ink on there. Again, remember to remove your tape. I'm going to give this a clean with the anti-static bag. Stamp down there. There we go. Take in my photocopy paper again. the gold embossing powder. Give that a nice flick off, tiny little bit just there. And now we can heat emboss this one. So again, number 2, I'm going to try and do the same and let it go from the back. Let that warm up a second. And you can see that starting to go. There we go. So again, we've got that really, really pretty, almost looks raised off of the page. So that's 2 sentiments done. So that's just for you, wishing Christmas love and festive cheer and a happy new year. So the same stamp that I've just used has happy new year on the bottom. So I'm just going to clean all that off a minute. I'm just going to pop a tiny bit of tape just there. And we're just going to ink up this bottom wording. Like so. I am going to use the top end of this one to save paper. So I'm going to use my anti-static bag again. Remember to remove that tape. And I'm going to stamp Happy New Year just there. And if we just pour our powder over again, and we've got Happy New Year. And for the last time on number 2, there we go. Just pop this back where it belongs. Now if I take my paper trimmer, so if we just cut a nice straight line across the top, and then a straight line across the bottom. I do want to take some of both ends. That should hopefully fit in there quite nicely. Then Happy New Year. Perfect. We just need to take the ends off of that one. Of that one, and then the last one was just for you. We're gonna go just there, right up to the U and right up to the Y. I'm just going to sit in there. So if I move all that out of the way, bring back in my card. And I'm going to pop these up with foam tape. Give that a nice burnish. And then with my pokey tool, just remove those back ends. And this one is going to sit like so. So that's that one. Happy New Year. That'll be just one strip of foam tape. Give that one a nice burnish. And that one is going to sit just there. And this very last one, just for you, again, just a strip of foam tape. Remove that. If I turn this around and I want to get this, so this is how we're looking. Beautiful. And when that's folded up, as I say, that will fit quite nicely into a 5x7 envelope. Glue that one down a minute. So I could play for hours just creating. So that one's going to go there. We're going to pop this tiny one, just a single poinsettia. There we go. Just a tiny single poinsettia there. But it does mean that I now have to put a tiny pearl in the center of that one. If you saw the state of my desk, it's a wonder I can find anything. So that one goes in there. There we go. How beautiful is that? Absolutely stunning. Okay, so this is where we are with our piece that we've scored and cut with our craft knife down the middle. And if we just go through the folding and burnishing again, the first long section we're gonna do a valley fold and give that a really nice score down. These two next side ones, the small ones, I'm going to turn them into mountain folds. So just pinch those together and then you've got your mountain fold. But this one inside needs to be a valley, so bring that out to be a valley. So that's where we are with those. Give all those a really nice burnish down. This next one needs to be a mountain, and these two on the side need to be a valley. And then when you bring all this together and score all this down, you end up with your card shape. Give it a go. Let me know how you get on. So here's the card that we made today. Absolutely stunning. Really love it. I think it's really different. Really quite unusual. And thank you for watching. Until the next time. Bye for now.